Channel. So today we will learn about Pulsar. Okay, so the first generation Pulsar was launched in 2001. Okay, now this is the ad. Okay, so it was positioned as a male muscular motorcycle. Okay, now this is from 2001, late 2001, when I started my engineering. Okay, that time it was like a very good hit because at that time it looked very macho. Okay, and it was giving a very good mileage, and it was having a very good power as compared to its the rivals. Okay, and so we will look at history, like what was the history before it. Okay, so you see, Hero Honda launched the CBZ way back in, I think, 1998. Okay, so it was an instant hit. Okay, though Honda did not give their best engine to these people, Hero group. Okay, but still, in terms of design, it was taken over from the bigger CBX model, CB series models, and that's why it was very good in comfort, rideability, and looks. Okay, and pickup. But one of the drawbacks that my friend had this for around 4 or 5 years. Towards the end of engineering, I had ridden this for 2 days. So what was the problem that he was there is the reliability. Because what used to happen is, if you want to rev it up hard and do all kind of rough riding, then it used to give trouble. Okay, otherwise if you ride it very smoothly, keep it well, take care of it, then it used to be a very good when there was less maintenance cost. So CBZ was ruling the roost till 2001 or 2002 time. Okay, until Pulsar was launched. Now Bajaj, since Hero was their arch enemy at that time, because they had taken the scooter market by storm with their motorcycle, the 100cc, and people were buying those, and scooters were going out of the line. So now they had this. So they launched this Pulsar. Okay. So this was the first generation Pulsar. Okay, it was designed by an Italian designer. Okay, because at that time in India nobody used to design such good bikes. Okay, so this was a plain Jane classic design, but its power was its actual CC power was not 150, it was 144 CC, and it used to give 12 bhp of power. Okay, so one thing was that the engine was unrefined, the gearbox was unrefined, but it was a very good performing engine, because my friend used to go at 110 115 easily, even though the quality was not at par with Hero Honda or Honda. Okay, yeah, but it was a good, I mean, acceptable quality. I'm not saying it was a very bad quality, but it actually strengthened the foothold of Pulsar in the Indian market as an affordable, high performance, okay, answer to CBZ. Okay, and Bajaj name was anyway known for its reliability from his scooter, so people had trust in Bajaj. Okay, so they were actually now, before this could go out of question, Bajaj actually at that time. So at that time, somewhere around that time, 2002, 2003 time, Honda City was launched with the IDSI engine. Means it has twin spark plugs per cylinder. My uncle had bought this, so I know it was very good car, but it was not very comfortable. It was lightweight. Okay, in Bombay. So Bajaj took inspiration from that. Okay, and then they decided to put this technology in their motorcycle. So then it was the birth of the DTSI. So now Pulsar introduced DTSI along with their old Pulsar model. Okay, the first generation. They introduced the second generation. Okay, which was having DTSI. It was having a headlight fairing, and it was producing more power. It was producing a little bit more power, 12.5 or 13 bhp, somewhere around that. And it was again 144cc only. It was a bit more burly than before. Okay, it just had the spoke wheels also, no alloy wheels till that time. My friend had purchased this one also in the college, and they had a very big accident with that, going at 80 and unable to control. Okay, this Pulsar continued till 2006 time, and in 2006 I remember Bajaj introduced their third generation, which is this. Now they had made the engine full 150cc, 13.5 bhp. Okay, with alloy wheels, with digital console, the LED lights, and this beautiful design with anox suspension, everything. So it was like priced above than Honda Unicorn. Honda Unicorn was still giving spoke wheels by that time, because I had purchased that model, though Honda was technically a bit better than Bajaj, but then Bajaj was upping its game. So by this time they have sorted out most of their issues. Okay, my friend, two of my roommates purchased this model. Okay, So one of my roommates had purchased one model earlier than this. Okay, it was not as sharp. It was just like a previous second generation model only, but with alloy wheels. Now this is the, I think, the fourth version. Okay, the fourth version we had complete, digital meter and the sharp end. So this was also purchased by one of my roommates, and I had purchased the Honda Unicorn in 2007. Okay, so so this is the history till that time. Now what happened? Okay, meanwhile Charisma was already launched in 2003 by Hero. Okay, so already their this thing was on decline. Okay, CBZ. So they, in order to assert their dominance in the market, they had launched, with the help of Hrithik Roshan as a brand ambassador, they launched the Charisma. And since 2003, it was not a very affordable bike. It was launched at 78,000 at that time. So few people used to buy it, and big cities enthusiasts used to buy. Okay, so now Bajaj was like, always trying to compete with Charisma with their 180cc. So I have ridden 180cc DTSI also. It was having good torque, but Charisma was ultimately the king. Okay, because in Pune there were very wide roads. People used to go very fast, around 180 was normal in plain open roads in the city. Okay, at that time. Okay, not much traffic. So Charisma used to perform like anything, and it was much better looker than a Pulsar 220 or Pulsar 180. So then Rajiv Bajaj thought that, okay, let's give an answer to let's give an answer to Hero. Okay, meanwhile, when I was in Chennai in 2006, okay, Apache was also launched by TVS, which they separated from Suzuki. Okay, and they improved the Apache based on their Suzuki Fiero F2. So Suzuki introduced Fiero with TVS. Then they modified it to Fiero F2, which was okay kind of a bike. Then finally Apache came. But the problem with Apache, because my friends also purchased this one and I had ridden this one also, the problem was it was a short bike, okay, in dimension wise, and its engine was not that powerful. When in a drag race, in a traffic signal, Pulsar used to go forward with their gruntier note, and this one used to lag behind. Okay, which TVS corrected in their 160 RTR. Okay, they improved the CC, they improved the power to match up with the competition from Bajaj. Okay, now in 2007 time, okay, Pulsar showcased this ad. Okay, they created the Pulsar 220 to answer Charisma, the dominance of Charisma. So I was in Pune, and like I said in my previous video, we went to Bajaj showroom. They showed me the pre-production model to send us test mules, to the 35 test mules to some people. Then they would take the feedback, and then they relaunched it, the new model. My roommate took this model. I had ridden this also. So it was a good high performing bike. It would go 120 easily, when revved hard. It was having the LED light, the front fairing, the integrated fairing and everything, and the widest rear tire at that time, and it was a very hoot to drive. It was a proper answer to Charisma. Now Charisma by the time had languished. Okay, I had taken the test ride of Charisma in 2007. It was the same old model, nothing much change, just they introduced some plastic cowl beneath at the engine portion. Okay, that's it. So Bajaj took over from here. Okay, so this was a fuel injected model at the first. Okay, later they introduced the other model also without fuel injection, but later then they again modified it to fuel injected. Okay, so now from here, by this time, Bajaj Pulsar was fairly well established in the market. Okay, so apart from, and also they put that 220cc engine into the Eliminator. Now here the point to note is, after launching 220, right, they introduced without faired version, that is the Pulsar 200 also, which again one of my friend purchased. Okay, in Pune, and he fall down because it was very fast and it used to skid easily. If you are not a skilled rider, it could skid, and he was sprained his leg. So I had to give him my Unicorn. He could ride the uniform easily, and then I took his bike to the service station. So Pulsar 200 and 220, both I have ridden a Pulsar. All Pulsars, all generation. Now Bullu says that his Pulsar was stolen. It is very true, because once I went to Honda showroom with my roommate's second generation Pulsar. I parked it there. When I returned, I put the key around the bike. It was not my bike. I took somebody else's bike, the first generation. So the key quality was also not good at Bajaj. Okay, so imagine how easily somebody can take any other's bike using a simple key. Okay, this first generation Pulsar 220, right, it is ruling the roost till date. Okay, Bajaj has improved the quality. They took out all the niggles that used to have. It's a very value for money proposition for people till date. Okay, I see many on the road new ones on the road. Okay, people are still buying it. It was having a very good build quality also, which exists till date. I think it's even better than the current generation of NS Pulsars. NS Pulsars are basically a version, I mean, they are created after their partnership with KTM. Okay, then so you know, when I went to purchase, when I was looking for a bike in 2010 after my MBA, you know, I went to see the Pulsar 220. I've tested and it did not like that much because I already ridden it, okay, from 2007. So that time, you know, I chose Thunderbird. I took the bet on Royal Enfield because Royal Enfield by that time, you know, they had developed their UC engines and they were improving all the way. And Honda, with Honda, they still not introduced the 250F. Okay, so there was very limited option. I went to a Charisma showroom that time. Charisma with their fully fed, you know, oil cooled something, they have introduced their version in 2010. But the Honda people are so, you know, they were so what you can say, arrogant. They did not have the test bike. They were like kind of having an attitude, let them take it or leave it. So anyway, I did not like that much. Okay, anyway, I was not going to purchase Charisma with that kind of money at that time. So I went ahead and purchased my bike, that is the Thunderbird 350, because it was having a waiting period of 2 months rather than 8 months for classic, and also it was big, it was comfortable, had the proper big bike feel, even though it was slower than the other bikes, but you know, I wanted that bling. So, and that's where, you know, I lost track of these Pulsars, and you know, whenever I see them, I remember the old days, you know, when I had ridden. I have seen how Bajaj has grown from their first generation to their fifth generation to Pulsar 220 to NS range. Okay, so that is how, you know, I have seen from my childhood or my teenage days how Pulsar has you know, improved over the years, and it's still going strong. So in the 125 to 250cc segment, Bajaj Pulsar rules the roost. Okay, it's not Hero, it is the Pulsar that rules the roost. Okay, and I will tell you about, in the meantime, okay, parallelly, okay, now there was one more bike, okay, CBZ. What happened to CBZ? So CBZ, okay, so now CBZ also took the technology from Honda for the Unicorn engine, and they introduced the CBZ Extreme, okay, which was having not a monoshock at the rear but twin shocks. It was also very similar bike to the Unicorn only, okay, very little difference. Okay, basically it did not had anything to do with the old CBZ. It was a totally new thing, and it lost the charm also. It is not a success. It sold in good numbers earlier, but ultimately, you know, it's the Unicorn's first model that is still selling till date with their minor modification. That was the best model. It was very highly engineered at that point of time. I had done a lot of research and purchased my Unicorn. My brother, who was studying engineering at that time, he purchased the 150 DCSI. So it was like a sibling rivalry at home only. Okay, that's how I remember it. CBZ has lost its sheen by that time. Okay, so that CBZ, the Extreme 160R that you see, is actually a version of this only as on today. Okay, that is how their history is, and you know, that's how they are surviving. Guys, so check out. So this is one of the time when, you know, I took Unicorn, and after this was a comparison video by some of the prominent magazines. So these were the 4 150cc contenders of that time. This is the Hunk, okay, which was basically a redesigned Extreme. This was the Pulsar with the non-black alloy wheels. This was very popular that time, the bestseller. Then the Unicorn with alloy wheels, not so popular because of you know, its non-grunty nature. RTR was getting popular with shorter riders, and you know, see how short it was. So these were the 4 bikes, you know, which were the talk of the town during that 2006 to 2000 maybe 10 12 time. Okay, before, you know, people started earning more and they shifted to bigger, higher capacity motorcycles, and the rise of Royal Enfield after 2008-9, after 2010 basically, okay, shifted the enthusiast focus to their classic model. Okay, and also Honda launched their CB250. Okay, so Honda CBR 250 was launched around in 2012 time, I guess, because I used to see, I had newly, and once I had a duel with this bike on a highway, Warangal highway. Okay, so it went past forward, it went past very fast with me, but when there is then a truck came, it could not overtake. The driver did not have the confidence, so I overtook it, and that's how I defeated this bike in the night. Okay, so till date he's searching for where is that Thunderbird who defeated me.